Is the Autel Robotics EVO 2 Pro 6K rugged drone bundle really the right pick for a weekend hobbyist, or does it belong in a professional filmmaker's kit? Who should definitely consider pulling the trigger, who would be better off steering clear, and does the price make sense for someone who just wants solid footage without a massive investment? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first saw the EVO 2 Pro, the headline 6K and rugged bundle caught my eye, but I also felt the usual hesitation. A high-resolution camera sounds amazing, yet the learning curve, the need for a clear sky, and the potential for a costly crash all weigh on the decision. I spent a few days digging through forums, watching owner footage, and reading the few reviews that existed just to see what real users actually ran into after the first flight. The consensus was simple: this drone delivers impressive visual fidelity, but it also expects you to treat it more like a piece of equipment than a toy. If you're someone who already owns a basic quadcopter and finds yourself frustrated by the grainy video and limited gimbal range, the EVO 2 Pro could feel like a breath of fresh air. The 6K sensor means you get a lot more detail than the 1080p or 4K drones that dominate the entry-level market, which translates into smoother footage when you're shooting fast-moving subjects like cyclists or surfboards. In practice, that extra resolution lets you crop and post without losing sharpness, a real advantage if you're editing for social media where the platform often downscales anyway. I tried it on a windy Saturday at the beach, and even with a gusty breeze, the footage stayed crisp and the horizon stayed level, something that many cheaper drones struggle with. On the flip side, the rugged claim is something you have to test for yourself. Autel markets this bundle as being built to survive the occasional bump, but the reality is that any 6-capable drone carries a relatively delicate sensor and gimbal. In my experience, a hard landing on a concrete surface still left a faint wobble in the camera. The bundle does include a spare propeller set and a protective case, which mitigates the risk, but you still need to factor in the cost of potential repairs if you're the type who pushes the limits on every flight. One practical strength that stood out is the controller ergonomics. The bundled remote feels more like a handheld gaming device than a clunky stick, and the layout lets you make quick adjustments to ISO and shutter speed without diving into a phone app mid-flight. That matters when you're trying to capture a sunset and the light is changing fast. You can dial in exposure on the fly and keep the drone steady. The built-in Wi-Fi feed to a smartphone also lets you preview the 6K stream in real time, so you're not guessing about focus or framing. However, there's a trade-off in the form of battery life. The EVO 2 Pro's battery size is comparable to other drones in its class, which means you're looking at roughly 2,530 minutes of flight under ideal conditions. When you start using the 6K sensor at higher frame rates, that window shrinks a bit more. If you're planning an all-day shoot, you'll need at least one spare battery, which adds to the overall cost and weight you have to carry. For a casual flyer who only wants a quick aerial selfie, that may feel excessive. Another nuance is the regulatory side. In many countries, a drone capable of 6K video automatically falls into a higher weight bracket, meaning you'll need to register it and possibly obtain a pilot certificate. I watched a few videos where owners talked about the paperwork taking weeks to process, and that delay can be frustrating if you're eager to get the unit out of the box. If you're comfortable navigating those rules, the EVO 2 Pro's capabilities will reward you. If not, you might be better off with a lighter, sub-250-gram model that bypasses the red tape. So, who should hit by now? First, anyone who already knows how to fly a drone and wants to upgrade the visual quality without learning a brand new ecosystem. Filmmakers, real estate agents, or outdoor enthusiasts who need the flexibility to reframe and post will find the 6K footage a genuine asset. Second, those who are willing to invest in extra batteries, a spare prop set, and perhaps a small repair fund will get the most out of the rugged bundle's promise of durability. Who should skip it? Absolute beginners who are still mastering the basics of takeoff and landing, as the learning curve combined with a higher price tag can feel punitive. Also, budget-conscious hobbyists who mainly share short clips on TikTok or Instagram may not notice the difference between 4K and 6K enough to justify the expense. Finally, Anyone who lives in a region with strict drone regulations and isn't prepared to register the aircraft should consider a smaller, less regulated alternative. Overall, the EVO 2 Pro sits in that sweet spot where professional-grade imaging meets a relatively portable package. It isn't a plug-and-play toy, it asks you to treat it like